Hi, Luminaires. I hope everybody is doing well out there. Thank you so much for your patience as we are using the Be Live streaming here today. And my friend Scott, who I'm wishing some of you are going to be meeting in the African Safari spiritual tourism trip we're making in November 2025, is doing his best to log on and it keeps kicking him out. But Scott Brills will hopefully be with us. I want you to meet him. I want you to like I know. I want you to get to know him because he's just wonderful. And he's the one that single-handedly put all of the pieces to place and took my wish list and made it a reality. And he's in right now. And I'm going to push a button and hopefully he will be here. I didn't even get to tell you who he is. No. Okay, I'm going to describe who Scott is before we get started. And if he can get technology to work where he is, it's going to happen. But Scott is from Detroit, Michigan, Scott Brills, and he started this company in Africa. He spent a childhood filled with pets, like all shapes and sizes, like insects, snakes, lizards, salamanders, hamsters, guinea pig. I mean, the list goes on and on. He is an animal lover, and he found his dream job, also being able to spend so much close contact with African wildlife. He spends a few months every year over in Tanzania and the rest of his time in US or abroad. He started his own business like when he was 19. And I'm so impressed with that. He was attending university courses in Japan. And then after he graduated in fields of IT and web development, he was like, this is what I'm going to do. He met a friend named Joshua, and they began this tourism company. And I pronounce it Bajoma, but I might be doing it a disjustice. But hopefully, if he can make it, he can let us know how to pronounce it. But he is the reason that I agreed to do the African safari because he has spent a majority of his life dedicated to African wildlife and to nonprofits, the preservation, to leaving a small footprint wherever he goes. And he's taken these really elegant, large tourism like safaris, and he's simplified it. And not only is it about just going and being a part of the land, he introduces you to the culture and he introduces you to the tribes, the Masa tribe, the Hadza, I'm going to say them all wrong, Hadza tribe. And so in this African safari that we've put together for November 2025, we will potentially meet 3 different tribes. We'll definitely hang with 2, and we get to learn from them. So it's a time away from who we are as tourists to learn and receive wisdom and knowledge for where we're going. Holistic herbalist, you made it. Kisses to you and all of North Carolina at this time. Tiffany, I'm so excited that you're signing up and that you're coming. And I can't wait to meet your aunt. Okay, I hear him laughing in the background. He's here, and I'm going to touch a button. Please let this button work. God, I know he's crossing his fingers. Just let it work. Gosh. Oh, it doesn't. I don't know what's happening. To be a part of the land. I want to learn from the wisdom of the people who live there. I want to be enveloped in the culture. And I also want to bring whatever we can from wherever we're coming from in the world. Like when we went to Bali, we brought school supplies, English books for youth to a local school in the territory where we stayed. And so it was nice to be able to give something that they really wanted and leave that behind. And in this case, we're hoping to work with a non-governmental company, which is a nonprofit. Okay, Scott, he's here again. And I wish you could see his face because he's laughing. This is like take 27. I'm nervous to do this. Why is it kicking you off? This makes no sense. If you can make it this far, it's just a button that brings you on. Here, dang it. Could be internet where he is. So this will be fun. Tiffany says yes, I'm gonna be there, and her aunt. So 10 days, the wish list. Be on the land, meditate in the land, heal the land, and get to know the culture. And he was like, check, check. And I said, it's a bit of a dream of mine to be in the Serengeti and to be able to go out and meditate on the Serengeti. He was like, you know what? I think we can do that. He goes, if you don't mind having men standing around your circle with, some weapons and guns, he's like, you're going to see that because this is wildlife. This is not, a sanctuary or something like that. And I said, well, we'll get used to seeing that, but I really appreciate it. And he goes, yeah, I bet we can get some men out there to kind of mow down or create an area where you can hold your group and meditate on the land. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And he goes, and I'll do you one better. There's actually a hot air balloon ride that goes over the Serengeti. And it's possible that you can see the Great Migration if it's happening at that time, which we are going during a period where that can happen. Now, I'm not a fan of being high up in the air. I even get nervous on roller coaster rides. I definitely have to be strapped in. So this is a little bit of a reach for me, but I'm going to do it. And hopefully whoever is there can hold my hand, because if you were in Bali, we did come across this place where we could jump off all these gorgeous waterfalls. And I squealed at the 10-foot drop. And it took me about 30 minutes to jump off the 2-story drop, which to me was way too far. And then majority, I hear you, but I don't see you. Majority of people even tried the 4-story drop, and Colleen did it. Here we go, Scott. I'm going to touch a button. You are logged in, Scott, 7 times. But there's only one of you with an image, and I'm going to try that one. 3, 2, 1, please. Please, just let it. Nope. No. No. Oh, we're here somewhere. I'm here, and Scott is logged in multiple times, but there's no image, which is cracking me up. Interesting enough, where we're going, even in the whole moving through Tanzania, Scott's ready to broadcast. Let's do it, Scott. Where are you? We're going to have access to Wi-Fi. And there are some tricks of the trade that he has shared with us, and I have everything up on the website. So if you look at this, I'm just going to do it this way because I'm so worried that the buttons I'm using just don't work. Look at that. Now there's 4 of us. I don't know who else is here, but enjoy these boxes too. But the link is in the chat thread now if you want to jump over to the website and see the tips that Scott was leaving. Now there's these 3. I don't know who else is with me. Hi. One of that needs to be Scott. Dude, we've got, hi, Nana Rosebud. How is England today? Okay, I am unfortunately gonna remove these windows. Maybe Scott will just show up when he logs in. We're gonna pretend that he's here. He's so nice, y'all. Like, amazing. Okay. Hi, Wendy. Oh, Wendy, you signed up for the hot air balloon ride, my friend. And when I saw that you did it, I knew that I would be okay in the end and that this was going to be all right. So thank you so much. And I'm going to be addressing my fear of heights. At least I don't have to jump off a cliff into water like we did in Bali, because that made my knees buckle. And it's something that I'm very nervous about. Oh, Nana says it's raining in England. It's kind of wet today. Winnie says, so excited for this adventure. Heights are not my jam. I'm going to try it a different way, Scott. You ready? She's Guys, what do I do? I'm definitely gonna reschedule. Does this work? I don't know what's happening now. This is crazy. Oh, I don't mean to pop that up so much. Sorry. Woohoo. Wendy was saying, so excited for this adventure. Heights are not my jam, yes, but you will not miss the balloon ride. Thank you. Tiffany, here's the story of a loving lady waiting for Scotty from Africa. It's the pretty much with all the boxes. Oh my goodness. I really wanted him to share the story because you don't understand the way that he talks about his passion, about being around the animals, his business partner. Um, it is just, it makes you want to be in his presence, and he's going to be with us. We can have maximum 18 people, so that would have 3 Jeeps the whole time. And it's higher end glamping, it's higher end hotels. They hand make all of our like meals and food drawn from local gardens, and they can manage any kind of food allergy that you might have, like me being vegan or sometimes vegetarian because I have a secret passion for cheese, but can handle gluten allergies, nut allergies, anything that you come with. Scott is like, you don't understand. We get that, and we can help you with that. And part of his passion of starting Pajama Safaris is that when he looked at other adventures, the cost and the price point was so outrageous that many people just couldn't make it work. So he has very affordable prices. And even though when you go to the website and you look, we have private rooms and we also have shared rooms. The private rooms, of course, are a little bit more expensive, and we only have 3 of those left. 3 of them have already been booked. So 3 left of the private rooms. But then we have 4 shared rooms open. So you can go with a bestie, go with a spouse, or find a friend, get paired with. We will normally pair people as same sex and make sure that you get introduced and know each other. We start a chat thread beforehand on WhatsApp so we can communicate to each other and build camaraderie before we even arrive. And everything is taken care of from the moment you land in Kilimanjaro International Airport. Like Scott's team picks us up and takes us to Arusha, which I hope I'm saying right, or it's Arusha. And we'll take a day there with cultural tourism and look at nonprofits, anything that's helping local schools and kids. And here he is again. Take 30. Say something. I can hear you. Hi. I've been talking you up for so long. Oh, no. Most of it? Oh my God, you have to tell me, what did I get wrong? Pamoja. Pamoja. See, I knew I wouldn't have it right. This is what I wanted him to come in early so he could teach me how to pronounce names. Like, how do you pronounce, is it Arusha or Arusha? Okay, they cannot hear you. So they're looking at me like I'm having a one-way conversation. You ready? Oh, God, please. Here we go. Oh, kicked him out again. It's crazy. Maybe we catch him when he's back in the States, because I have a feeling he might not be in the States right now. And he can correct me on that if he's listening. Yikes. So then once I started talking with Scott, he was like, okay, well, what are you doing after this? I was like, what do you mean? What do you do after a 10-day safari? Like, we're coming from Tanzania and we're traveling down and through the Serengeti, and we're going to end where you can extend your adventure in 2 different directions. Take 31, he's here. It started to count numbers like it was logging you in. Did you see that though? I thought that was, he said his internet is good. And where are you today? You're in Dallas. You're in the States. Can you hear him? He's trying the phone, what different web browsers, all like this is a person who does not give up, and I appreciate that. But, like, if this doesn't work multiple times, I'm gonna cut you loose like a fish, and then we are going to find another day where you are available, and I will find a different streaming platform. If it's this platform that's causing the issues, I will get rid of it. Here we go. I don't feel hopeful. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Dang it. Kicked him out again. How long do we let him struggle, guys? Hey, Darlene. Sabri made it from Australia, finally caught alive. All of this sounds amazing. Did you try restarting? If I restart, then it's going to close all of this up, and then you would have to come back on and find us like in a different streaming. So we would kind of lose all the momentum. I'm so sorry about all of this. He's back. I told you. All right, Scott. No, he left. I was going to say this would be the last time. This will be the last time. Okay, so at the end of the 10-day tour, it does a split. Either you hop in a Jeep and you drive to like this local little airport in the Serengeti and you hop on a tiny plane that flies you back to Kilimanjaro so that you can take your flight home. So you can do a round trip to Kilimanjaro. Or you take an exit over to Zanzibar beaches, or you actually go to hike Mount Kilimanjaro. Any of that sound interesting? Says he's here 3 times over now. I mean, it can't be. Milton is not messing with us. Not right now, not the hurricane. If you're watching live, there's also external weather that is occurring, but it shouldn't be that today. So you get a choice. You can head home, you can go to the beaches, or you can hike Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, to make Mount Kilimanjaro, we have to have 6 people who want to hike it. Is it something you want to do? Is it on your bucket list? Have you ever wanted to hike a big mountain like that? We're going to take the easier route, and I don't want to pronounce the route because I feel like I'm going to pronounce it wrong. And when Scott's here, he can pronounce it for us. And keeps telling me, Scott is ready to join, and then he disappears. Yeah, the platform Zoom seems most popular, so we might end up doing something like that, like a private. But I just thought it would be great for everybody to meet him, because even if you're not going to join an African safari with us and have spiritual elements in it, like trans-channeling sessions and meditations and healings and learning herbals and treatments from tribe members, then like Scott, and you can design your own, and you can do that later with family or friends or anything, because I highly recommend working with him, and I just wanted you to meet him. So that's like the sad thing. So that sounds like a great idea, though. In the future, we will post it and give a link out, and you guys can come and join Zoom, and then I'll post it up on YouTube. Tiffany says, I'll hike if Wendy promises me to give me a piggyback ride the whole way. Wendy, get strong. You're carrying Tiffany. Okay, that's 2. If you guys go, I'll go. I'm interested in it. In Bali, we hiked a live active volcano like in the middle of the morning and got there at sunrise. That was breathtaking. That was experience I will forever hold on to. Those views, the feeling of being up there, the energy of the mountain. Wow. But that was like just a hour and a half hike up, or 2 hours, and it was quick to kind of come down. I say quick, but it was a whole day excursion. But Kilimanjaro is going to be an additional, I think it's 9 days. So it takes several days to go up, and we're taking the slower route. Everything is on the website. You can head over there and look at it. Wendy says, I'm strong like bull. She'll carry. Wendy says one-way convos with you, Jamie, are normal because it's usually spirit. Okay, that's pretty funny. That's right. That's really true. I just don't admit it because it's so alive and everybody is there for me. God. Okay. Um, so after the safari, we're going to split out. And if we can get enough people, if there's 5 others that want to hike Kilimanjaro, I will be there. I will make it 6 and we will do that thing together. And we will sleep in tents on a mountain. We will have help and assistance to carrying our packs. We will learn songs. Here we go. All right, Scott, this is your last chance. If it doesn't work, just give up and enjoy the rest of your day because I really appreciate the time and the effort you've given this. Yes, even people are saying mentioning Zoom, we could do something like that, and I can record it and post it up. But I really wanted everybody to meet you live so that they could ask you questions. He says hi to everybody and that you will meet again. Let's see. Okay. Do you wanna count me in? Thank you, Scott, for everything. I really appreciate it. We'll stay in touch via email and find a time. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is either hello or goodbye. Please. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh,
Yes! Look,
oh
that
wow.
I
Okay, I
told you
didn't
I
even
didn't make
expect
them
that to
up.
work.
I didn't expect it to work either. Maybe it just needed us to be completely, hopeless
I
about it.
finally saw the countdown, the 3, 2, 1. I hadn't even seen that before. It just cut my video feed before when you tried to let me in, and I had to like reconnect it.
Hi. Everyone,
Hi,
look, it's
hi
Scott.
everyone.
He's real. This is everyone. From England to Australia to California, Seattle. Hi.
Hi everyone. Sorry it took so long. I know some of you probably are on a time crunch, but yeah, happy to finally be here.
I know, and do you have time? Do you have,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
10
I'm
to do
totally good.
that?
Yeah. Don't worry about me.
Oh my god, thank you. God, I really want them to get to know you and what your passion is about the work that you're doing. And you heard me talk a little bit before, if you want to take the reins and fill in the gaps, if I left some gaps to,
Yeah. Sure.
inform us a
Let
little bit.
me
Touching.
just recover from all that
It was very
we just
stressful.
went through.
I'm not touching my computer no matter what's going on.
um, so in 2010, everyone asked me, how did you, as a guy from Metro Detroit, get involved in running a safari company in Africa? Which is a good question. It started because my father, it was one of his main bucket list items to go on a safari in Africa. And so in 2010, I was lucky enough that he not only went, but he brought me along with him.
Oh,
And we were a part of a 16-person safari group for about 2 weeks in the Serengeti. And we went through a big tour agency, and everyone was, I would say my dad was the youngest, being maybe in his late 50s at the time. And then I, of course, was like the grandson of the group. And so it was a lot of retirees and whatnot. And we spent a couple weeks, out there with 3 different guides and had a great, great time. And then my father and the rest of them left. And I was staying on to go to Zanzibar by myself for a week just to check it out. And then I was coming back towards Arusha to climb Kilimanjaro with a friend that was flying down from London to join me. And this is before smartphones. I mean, there were a few, but I didn't have one. And so one of the guys I had connected with was one of our guides, Josh, and he was by far the best guide out of the 3 I had known. Not a big sample size, I know, but you could tell that he was really personable, funny, great English, loved what he did, loved the animals and nature. And so I connected with him out of the 3, and we exchanged numbers, and he kind of helped me over the next couple of weeks as far as figuring out the bus routes and everything. I was doing everything very backpacker style. And then I went back to Arusha, climbed Kilimanjaro, and then on the last night, my friend and I, he invited us over to his home to meet, at the time, his wife and 2 kids, now 3 kids. And on the way there, I distinctly remember asking him, like, you're really, really good at what you do. Have you ever thought about doing your own thing instead of just, being a guide for a company? Have you ever thought about having your own company? And he said, well, not necessarily, but I've been thinking about diversifying income streams and whatnot. And I said, well, I know how to set up and run businesses remotely. That's what I've been doing up to that point. I was doing IT and web development, so something completely not related. And I said, I think that this would be, if you're into it,
No, it would be a really good adventure. Is that what he's going to say? Can you see how like sweet and mesmerizing it is to like chat with him? He's back. Dang it, Scott, we got a taste of you. And now what are we going to do? Here we go. Here we go. Pushing the button. Yes.
Okay. All right. To continue. So I think it would be a really fun project if we were to combine forces and you run everything on the Tanzania side and I run, creating the businesses and all of the businessy parts of it. And let's see if it works out. And if it doesn't, no harm, no foul. It's mostly be my time in the beginning to set everything up. So initially I thought, I'm just going to send people his way, not really be involved with the company itself and just get some affiliate commission. Well, it turns out that was not the case at all. It ended up being a lot of work for both of us because, I knew how to do entrepreneur type stuff and run a business, but I didn't know travel and tourism. I didn't know doing business in Africa and Tanzania. He knew what he knew as a guy, but he didn't know the entrepreneurial part. So we had to join forces and kind of teach each other and learn through a lot of trial and error, actually, how to make this work. And so now we're going on year 15 and it worked out. We've had some bumps along the way with, what was it, the Ebola scare years ago, and then Zika, and then COVID, and
yes.
But luckily we run a pretty tight ship, and we're very committed to what we do, and so we're able to weather the storms, and we're doing very well now. Very happy. His oldest is off to college now. Second oldest is studying for his exams, and the third, the youngest one, they all have J names, by the way. Yoram, Junior. It's all the males have J names. It's a thing. So they're all doing very well, and we're creating a property soon. Our own property in Arusha and our own property in Serengeti. So that's our next challenge. We're really looking forward to that. But doing it very slowly, very organically, to make sure that we don't bite off more than we can chew. We want to keep all of our quality levels the same, and if not, increase them. So it's just like in the beginning of the company. We haven't had a lot of experience running our own accommodation. We stayed at plenty. We know what's good, and we know what to avoid. But that's going to be the next thing starting next year. We're gonna start the planning, and then 2026 we're gonna actually start digging earth.
We're just gonna miss it.
No, you won't, because you'll be back again. Don't worry.
I like the way you think, Scott. I like the way you think.
There have been a few friends that have communities similar to you that I've been collaborating with on running these adventures, and we've got one coming back on her third next year, another on their second. Wow. And so it's the kind of place that you come to. I mean, look at me, where you go there once and then you're like, oh, wow, that was amazing. And if possible, it's not possible for everyone, of course, but we have a lot of people that come back again.
Oh, I love hearing that. And I really enjoyed when I gave you my wish list, you didn't bat an eye. You're like, absolutely. Oh, no. Let's look at that. All, meditations, healing, places to gather, so that you can process from the day's work. And
as you may have heard from Danielle, like I've kind of run in these communities before for many, many years. I've got a lot of friends that are coaches and are energy healers and whatnot. So even though I am not personally, a lot of my friends are. And so I'm very comfortable in that space.
Yeah. So guys, Scott comes through us from Sound Embraces Danielle Hall. She's the sound healer teacher. She was with us over at the center. And now she's out in Alabama doing some incredible work still throughout United States. She's always on the move. She joined us in Mount Shasta for that retreat and did all the sound healing. And so I was very happy when she was like, oh yeah, my friend Scott. And I was like, oh my God, done. She was like, yes.
And she came in with us, and she did safari and she did Kilimanjaro through another friend who's a sound healer who I've known for about 10 years. And so Yeah, when she came over, that was 2022. Yeah, she was blown away. I mean, enough to talk about it and to recommend us. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping today, as I was telling the Luminaires, I was like, even if the trip is not with us, but it's on your bucket list, like this is who you can reach out to and call. I have all of his information over on the website. I'm not touching my computer anymore because I don't want Scott to disappear. But it's in the chat thread and it's going to be in the description below as well. But as soon as you go to the main page, it'll say African Safari and host, and it has him and Josh. All of Josh's information is up there. And I hope we have another gathering where Josh can join us, or maybe we do that one on Zoom and not on this platform.
He would love to join. Yeah, he's joined some of the the meet and greets, the webinars that we've had before. And like Jamie said, I'm always happy to help as far as if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that. You could go through Jamie as well, or you could come to me directly. Happy to assist. I know even trips we've done before, sometimes it's not the right time. You can't get the dates off, don't have the money, etc. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Or maybe you want to come with your family or something like that. That doesn't necessarily jive with this kind of trip, but always happy to answer any questions.
Yes. And all of the information you see on the website about what to pack and about cell phone service and where to fly in and everything, Scott has personally given to me. I didn't loosely research, and he was kind enough to go through the website, kind of check everything off, make corrections so that we're both on the same page, giving you the same information. Of course, that's the level of integrity, kind of how we like to hold space for you.
We've had a few back and forth emails. Yes.
Thank you. Can you go through what it's like to do one of the excursions after the tour with the safari? So the Zanzibar or the Kilimanjaro?
Yeah, both. Why not both? ¿Por qué no los dos? So I'll start with the easier to describe one. So that's Zanzibar. So if you want some fun in the sun, white sand beaches, crystal clear blue waters, snorkeling, drinks on the beach, pool time, etc. Zanzibar is a great place to do it. It used to be part of a different country until Zanzibar and the country formerly known as Tanganyika were united. They left their colonial overseers, the British, and then they became their own separate countries. And Zanzibar was actually a sultanate run by Oman, way up to the north in the Middle East. And so it got its independence and then decided, we're kind of a pretty small country and we're right off the mainland of Zanzibar. What about we join forces? And so that's where the name Tanzania came from. It's the Tan from Tanganyika and the Zan from Zanzibar, and then Ia means country. So they changed the name of the combined country to show the unity. And so it's exactly that. It's an hour flight away. You don't have to get out your passport anymore. It's just a domestic flight. And we will assist you in arranging the flight, the transfers, the accommodation, and we'll just make it easy for however many days you want to stay there. Most people do 3-4 nights, but you're welcome to do more. And there's plenty of just activities, or you can just hang out.
And we have price points over on the website. So you can click on the link and you can even go to add-ons and you can see it. It's all laid out.
And if you want any modifications to what's there, happy to work with you. Some people may want to stay a little bit longer. And so, we just need to change your drop-off date at the airport and extend the accommodation, but happy to do that at cost. Zanzibar isn't really anything that we do to make money per se. We just kind of add it as a courtesy, just because about 50% of our guests end up going there. And so we're happy to just kind of put that together and make things easy.
And do the 50 other percent go to Kilimanjaro, or do they just go home?
Well, a lot of our guests are Americans. And if you're an American, especially if you have a more traditional job, or you ever have in your lifetime, that we're pretty stingy with our vacation days here. And so a lot of people have 10 or 14 days, and that's it for the year. And so it's not, even though I would say if everyone had the opportunity, they would go, it's not always the case. And so sometimes people have to fly in and fly out and just do a safari. And oftentimes they'll come back and do Kilimanjaro. But yeah, it's just kind of up to how many days you have, and people have other commitments too besides work, family, and whatnot. And so, totally understand that. But Kilimanjaro, I would say it's less because it's less guests do that just because it's not for everyone. It is a physical challenge. It's a physical challenge that I think more people than not are actually capable of. I've climbed it 4 times personally, and it's a mental thing for the most part. I have been with groups of people well into their 70s that have done it. I've been with people that are overweight. I've been people going through tough stuff, tough challenges mentally. Actually, the trip Danielle was on, it wasn't Danielle, but a mutual friend was going through some stuff. It's nothing technical. You don't have harnesses and pickaxes and stuff like that. It's just a sustained hike. So you go on the mountain, and there's different zones you're in. You start off in the forested zone where you're walking through a jungle. And then by day 2, you're out where there's fewer and fewer trees and there's more rocks. And day 3, you could see the peak. And then as you go up, you kind of go around the peak, up and down to allow your body to acclimate to the elevation. You could, if you went in a straight line, get up there much quicker. But the number one thing that prevents people physically from making it is the elevation. So what we do is we allow extra time in that 8-day route that we've chosen together, allow extra time for your body to get used to the lower and lower amounts of oxygen.
Yes.
So that you'll be more prepared to get to the top. That is the biggest physical challenge, is that, because the rest of it, for the most part, and I'll get to the caveat in a second, is just a hike. It's just a sustained hike.
Oh my God, as he's talking, my palms are sweating. As I'm thinking about hiking the mountain, my palms are sweating as you're talking, Scott. He just came back in. Scott, we can do this. 3 is a charm. We're getting used to this. Here we go.
And I'm back. Okay, so yeah, it's a sustained hike, no technical bits. There is one point where you use your hands a bit to kind of go up this. It's a rock wall, but it's not a sheer rock wall. You're just kind of like going up platforms for about half hour, 45 minutes. The rest of it is straight up hiking with a small backpack with some water and snacks and rain gear in it, where the rest of your stuff, the tents, all that is carried by our excellent porters and guides and set up and taken down for you every day.
Wow.
So even though you're technically, compared to the safari, roughing it because you're on, you're in tents. We've got very good tents. We've got combination memory foam, air mattresses, very good, highly rated sleeping bags. Having done it many times myself, like I know that I don't want, it's a challenge as it is, and I don't want to make it more challenging by providing insufficient gear. So we made sure to invest in that. And then the cap. Yep.
How many days does it take to hike up?
So it's about 5.5, 6 days up.
And how many hours a day do you normally hike? I know it's different at the end, but
it depends on each person. We tend to stay together. If someone is falling behind, we'll assign a guide to them to keep them safe and to lead them along. And so you join us at our next rest stop. It generally averages about 6 hours a day. Some days are a little bit less, some days a little bit more, never more than like 8. Caveat being summit day. Summit day is tough. You've made it that far, and that is really the mental toughness point, because you start climbing at midnight. So you get to camp, you have lunch, you get as much sleep as you can, and then you wake up at 11. You have some snacks, have some coffee, get ready, and then you're climbing up. And again, climbing, I use that loosely. It's a trail up the final bit of the mountains, switchbacks up, and you spend about 6 to 8 hours going up, and then you're at the top. The sun comes out, everything gets a lot warmer. Caveat, of course, any weather can happen anytime. This is a mountain, it's its own weather system. But generally what happens is you're climbing during the darkness, you see the sunrise coming up, the sun breaks over the horizon, everything gets a lot warmer, very sunny very bright. And then you climb down in that 2-3 hours, get back to camp, have lunch, and then you go a few more hours to the next camp. Because you want to get down in elevation as soon as possible, because the less elevation you have, the quicker your body's going to be able to recover, the better your sleep will be, all that. Your appetite comes back to you. So that is the summit day. Even when I do it, it'll be my 5th time or 6th time. Still, like, I have to psych myself up, but I tell everyone that, just, so everyone knows that there's going to be some suck. There's going to be some suck on that day. It's going to be challenging. But what is a challenge like that without that real challenging bit? Like, can I make it? Can I not? And then you overcome it. And at the end, you've got this great story to tell. And you're like, I did it. I pushed on through and I made it. And every single time I do it, that happens.
Oh my God. What's the elevation?
It's 19,341 feet at the top.
There you have it. Mount Shasta is 14 something.
Yep.
We were just there and we drove to 8,000 and hiked.
So Kili as well.
level.
You started about 8. So you start, you're not starting at sea level or anything.
Oh, that's good to hear. I like that. I didn't know that. Okay. So from 8 to 19,000 is what you're hiking, roughly.
Right. And you're not doing it in one push. There are some days that are in the schedule just so your body can acclimate. So we'll go a little bit higher, have lunch up here, and then we'll go down low again.
My hands are still sweating. That's oh my God, the nerves. Like, I put myself on the mountain as you're talking about it, and it's just getting to me. Tiffany's like, oh my God, I want to do it, but I would need to train physically and mentally.
Training is great. A lot of people don't really have the option to train more than cardio, which is great. The more cardio you could do just to get your heart ready to pump extra oxygen, pump extra blood that contains oxygen to your brain. Always a good thing. Not a lot of people have the ability to train at elevation. Unless you're living in Colorado or something like that, somewhere where you can go in the mountains. That's great if you could do that. I'm usually at lower elevations, so I can't do that. And what I'll do is I'll go on longer walks. You can bring a pack if you want, just to add some weight. I'll do a little bit of jogging or running, rowing, something like that. Just good heart health is always optimal. But again, I've been with people that are definitely not what you would call in shape. And they've done it. And it's been through sheer force of will, that they're like, even if they're falling behind every day, we'll make sure that they're safe and they're comfortable. And if they want to make it to the top, they'll make it to the top. I've had plenty of friends do it.
All right, Loomies, if there's 5 of you out there, I'll be number 6. And we'll do it.
Hey, more the merrier. It doesn't have to, you don't have to cap it at 6. We can have as many as want to
do
join.
More than that, but you can't do less than 6.
Right, yes.
Yeah. So if there's 5, I'll throw in, I'll be 6. I'll say that out loud. It's done.
You can't give up that offer. That's a pretty good offer.
Other than that, I'm in Zanzibar.
And for those that want to do both, I can tell you from experience that Zanzibar is a great place to recover after you do Kilimanjaro. I know that's going to be a lot of time if you add up the safari and Kilimanjaro and Zanzibar all together. If you have the time and have the ability, that's a great way to do it. If you don't, then that last day we finish in the morning. We'll have lunch together with the crew to say goodbye to the crew. We'll take you to the lodge, and you're going to have the rest of the afternoon and evening to celebrate, hang out at the pool, grab some cold drinks of your choice, and celebrate together. What you've just done before you head out the next day.
Oh my God, this sounds incredible. We do have a question, but I'm aware of time, and I need to jump off in about 2 minutes to prep for a conversation at 5 o'clock with someone. And Wendy is asking you, Scott, can you share your favorite safari story?
Oh,
throughout all the
years?
Yeah.
Geez, there's so many.
So it's really hard.
So every time I go over there, people ask me like, oh, don't you get bored? Because you're just like, for the most part, doing the same itinerary all the time. Even though there's tons of itineraries, we've got one that's very particular that everyone loves. So every time I go on it, multiple times things happen that have never happened before. I see things I've never seen before in the last 15 years. Every single time that happens. And every single time I'm like, I wonder if this will be as good as the last time. And every single time it blows me out of the water. And then people that I'm with are like, oh, I'm sure you say that to everyone. I'm like, no, for real. Like, I've never seen this before. This is crazy. And so I would just say that every time I go out, amazing things happen. And that's the case with every single trip that we do. My guide, my partner Josh was just sending me videos today, and he said we were on the way to the airport. The guests were flying out, and we saw a cheetah with her two cubs, like 2 minutes away from the airport, and they were walking like right next to the Jeep. He got some cool video of our logo on the backs of the tires, with the cheetah and the cubs walking in front of it. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then he's like, yeah, but then also right past that, we saw a leopard with her cubs. And I was like, wow, that's very rare. You don't usually see them in that area. But to answer your question really quickly, we've had cheetahs jump on our car before. They're not aggressive. They're just getting up there to see if there's any predators or prey around. And they're like big house cats. And that's always pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. I think my stomach would fall out of my body.
we've got a video of it on our YouTube if you want to check it out.
Yes. What is your YouTube?
It's just at Pamoja Safaris.
All right. I will put that in the description. I just don't want to touch anything right now because it'll just make you evaporate. I have so loved this. I can't thank you enough for your just perseverance with the technology and your just willingness to chat and be you. You're always you when I talked with you. Like there's no facade. There's nothing. It's like coming home to someone you're so familiar with and just wants to show you everything and be excited. And I really appreciate it so much.
I appreciate the kind words. And yeah, the excitement and joy comes through because I'm literally quite excited and joyful just to be doing what I'm doing. And obviously very excited for you and everyone that wants to join to come next year.
Yes, we have 16 seats available and we have only 3 single rooms open and we have 4 shared rooms open. So that's 13. Right now, 13 people. So if you're interested and this is part of your bucket list and you want to join it, mixed in with channeling and healing and meditation on the land, then jump to it. You can put a deposit down over on the website, and then you can make monthly payments to us if that helps you, because we are 13 months out from our trip. It's in 2025 of November, not this November. So you have plenty of time to think about financial arrangements and then taking time off. In any way that we can help you, just reach out and ask questions.
This is going to be a very special trip. We, Jamie and I have talked back and forth and created a really, really awesome itinerary. This will not be the normal safari. So you're going to get all the goodness of the normal safari and then a lot of little extras.
Yes, I'm so grateful for that. I did my best to write it out in the itinerary on the website so you can read about it and then do your own research with it. But over that, Scott, thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Happy I was able to join.
Me too. I'll be in touch so we can do this again, but on a different platform. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your Dallas day.
Thank you.
And for everybody here, all the Luminaires, thank you so much for being here. I remind you guys, if you find something that you're really interested in, I encourage you to put your fingers to the keyboard and just check it out. Even like I said, if it's not here with me this time, maybe it's with Scott at a later time, just keep his name in your back pocket, write it down on a sheet of paper, put it in your dream list, whatever it is, because you can make it happen if you want it. And still looking for 5 people to hike Kilimanjaro. I'll see you guys later. Remember, this is not woo-woo. It's true. Bye, everybody. Bye, Scott.
Bye.